Hey guys, KX50 here with another review, this time of the Magna Blaster from Power Rangers Lost Galaxy. Now, if you know the title to my video, you'll see that I put re-released after the name of the toy. And there's a good reason for this. What you see in front of you is not the original Magna Blaster, but a re-release in one of the strangest moves ever. This was actually re-released as part of the Ultimate Weapon set in the Power Rangers Dino Thunder line. And that is really one of the oddest moves ever made by Bandai. Interestingly enough, back in the original Lost Galaxy line, Bandai made another weird move by re-releasing the Super Zeo Megazord as part of their toy line and keeping it completely unchanged. But this has some changes. The set included this, a gunmetal gray buckle and a badge, and one more thing, which is this. Now, you might be looking at this and saying, hey, isn't that the battle booster? Well, yes and no. Yes, this is the battle booster, but not the one you saw in my last review. It's not quite the same. Why? Because while this is basically the exact same mold, it's completely non-functioning. Just take a look at the back. You can see this is where the battery cover would be, and this is where the on switch would be. There's no screw here and no switch here, meaning while you can still press down the buttons, it just doesn't work. Compare this to the bell booster I have here, and if you actually hold it in your hands, which you can't really tell, but you just got to take my word for this. This bell booster, the real one, is since it actually has batteries and all that stuff in, it's got considerably more weight than this knockoff and this re-release that doesn't function. In fact, the only thing that really is missing is light and sounds. You've still got the 3 ports at the back, 2 on the side for attaching it to the battle boost, to the thermal blaster, and the 1 for where a button would be pressed to activate sounds while in the thermal blaster. And this thing will go with the brace attachment perfectly, and does unlatch with the press of this switch. And you might be wondering why, and I think that I'll let the Magna Blaster here give an explanation. So, we'll start off with its physical appearance. Now, if you have the original Magna Blaster, you can actually tell that this is not the same. Because the original Magna Blaster, released back in the Lost Galaxy line, had an orange slider and an orange muzzle to go with toy gun standards in America. Though that standard has become a little bit more lenient, especially considering it doesn't look that much like a real gun. And also is a gun that converts to a sword, so it gets off a little bit better. The interesting thing about this is that while it is missing most of the chrome on the original, the only chrome left being on these 2 horn parts on the side of the hilt, is that this thing's color scheme is actually closer to the Bull Riot from Seiju Sentai Ginga Man than the original Magna Blaster was, since it has a brown slider and black muzzle. So while it does trade off some things, one thing it gains is a bit more accuracy in terms of the color scheme. Now this thing has 2 modes, Sword mode and Shotgun mode. What you see here is the Sheath Sword mode, which you remove from the sheath by pressing down this button and pulling it out. Here we can take a look at this. We can see that it's got a lot of black and grey plastic, well, mostly black plastic with this, bits of grey for the blade, and a lot of painted plastic with a sticker right here and some translucent green plastic here in the center. Now for the muzzle, we've got the sticker on one side and mostly painted black plastic with this brown plastic slider. Now, turning this on, we'll get to what was traded off. And hopefully someone can get the phone there. So, here in sword mode, you press the trigger and you get this sound. It's your basic flashing sound, and you have a red light come from this jewel in the center every time you press the trigger. Then, to convert to its other mode, shotgun mode, what you then do is put back into the sheath. You flip around this horn, and you press this black button, and pull down the handle, and then you have it in shotgun mode. And when you press the trigger, you get this repeating blaster sound. And to those of you who have been watching my videos in the past and have been keeping up, those sounds might be familiar. And, just to prove to you that you're not wrong, I'll play the sounds for you right now. And the reason for that is because one of the things about it is that the sounds for this new Magna blaster were ripped straight out of the Thunder Max Saber. Straight ripped out. I mean, here, I'll just play them both at the same time. The only difference is that it seems that the sounds on the Magna blaster are muffled a little bit. Or just put at a lower volume. But they are the same in both modes. Now, that is why I think this thing doesn't come with any sounds. Because they didn't have any sounds to this. And it seems that they couldn't recover the old sounds used in these toys. So they left this empty and put in sounds from their sort of turned into a gun that they released the same year. While it is a cost-saving move, and while it was convenient, that means there's no reloading sound used by the slider hitting this now non-functioning button, and you get this, which is basically useless. And like I said, this really is one of the awesome moves ever made by Bandai. And a lot of people were disappointed at from reviews I read online. As for me, if you can, try getting a Magna Blaster or a Bull Riot. If you can't get one of those, you can go for this, but, you know, only if you don't mind the fact that it comes with a non-functioning bell booster and has the sounds out of the Thunder Max Saber. But besides that, it is a pretty good toy, and, you know, if you are willing to look past everything that I told you earlier, it is worth the money. So, please rate, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff. And for now, this is KRX50, writing off.